Hey students, so we are now ready to start learning how to do things like attaching pieces of clay together with score and slip to make sure that they don't break off. Maybe using some items like this, or I've got some other tools here to decorate. I saw this one and I thought, oh, this is cool. Your first project, remember, it's a pinch pot with a lid, but you have to focus on movement. So I found, look, movement, cool. Might be able to achieve that. And then this little tile I found, and it's got some great movement on it. So I could use this as like a little, I don't know, design element and maybe create a focal point on my piece. Now that you know how the glazes flow, can you imagine how pretty this one would be? You know? And I know there are a few students that use some really pretty colors that got some really cool effects. So anyway, before you begin starting on your own personal pinch pot, here's what we're gonna do. I just want you to practice, okay? So today is just a practice day a little bit. Don't worry about all of your other Unit 2 assignments right now. Just practice with me, okay? So this is some clay. Let's pause for a second. Think about what stage of clay this is right now. Look what I'm doing with it. I'm squishing it. It's very moldable. It's very blendable. Share with your neighbor what stage of clay this is. I'll just wait for you to share. Hopefully, you said plastic, right? Squishy, moldable, blendable, wet, right? Those are some descriptors of this type of clay. I did not get water. I need water. I do have slip, but hold on. I'm gonna get water. So I'm gonna just pause it for a second, get some water, and then we're gonna roll with this. Okay, I've got some water. I just put some in this cup here, but I also have spray bottle. If I put spray bottles out, you guys can handle them, right? They're not gonna spray each other. Hopefully not. So I'm just making a little pancake, you know? So all I'm gonna do, we're just gonna practice. Like this is, you know, this is just you practicing, trying to figure out how to work with clay. So what I'm doing is just using the palm of my hand, okay? This is obvious, also guys, we're not keeping this piece, okay? This is Clay Technique Week only. So it's a pancake. It is thinner than my thumb. My thumb's a little bit fatter, okay? Because we don't want it to blow, remember? So then I'm gonna take a tool like this. I could use a needle tool. I could use this tool. I have another needle tool. Whatever, anything that cuts it in half. So all I'm gonna do now is show you how to attach these two pieces together like this. That's it. This method you can use for anything. You could use it for a handle on a mug. You could use it for your lid of your pot, because your pot has to have a lid, right? A themed pot, remember? So maybe you have like a little knob on the top of your lid or something. I actually could have kept that and done a circle and done a little knob, but that's okay. So here is my slip. I've had Savannah, my student instructional leader, she works with me every 5th hour. She comes in. She's been preparing this slip for you guys. So if you see her, thank her, because she got them ready for you, and it's been soaking, and it's just like a muddy mess right now. But it is, if it's the consistency of like toothpastey, it's kind of like toothpastey, you know, it's ready. So I can get some chunks out of there that are ready. So what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna take a needle tool, okay? Or this one would work too. See, it's got little kind of like curly thing. I'm gonna take it, and The area that is going to touch, this is called scoring. So I'm going to go one way and then I'm going to go the other way. I'm just going to rough it up. I'm just going to. What this does is it gives it a tooth. Does that make sense? It gives it a tooth to stick together, okay? So that piece right there is going to go right here on this piece, and we're going to like build a wall, okay? So then if those two areas are going to touch, I have to score right here too, okay? So then I'm going to do that. I'm just scoring right there real quickly. And this is all I want you to do for your first little practice technique. Score, score, they're gonna touch like that. So then I take some of my slip, my wet clay, my slip. This is the glue that holds your piece together, you guys, okay? So I'm gonna take it, don't smooth it on or you'll get rid of your rough marks. You know, you want those rough marks, those teeth marks. Just get a bunch on like that, pack it on, okay? And then I'm going to take the other piece and I'm going to do this. I'm going to stick it on. Sorry, you don't have to make that noise, but you get my point. So I'm going to stick it on, okay? And then I'm just going to kind of wiggle it. And if you did a good job at sticking it on, you should be able to hold it like this and it's not going anywhere, okay? Now, when you are building, like if you want to build and make a square, not a pinch pot, but let's say later on when you get a little bit better, if you want to build and make like a little box with squares instead of do a pinch pot, do an actual pinch pot method, you would roll out a snake. That's a snake, okay? Roll out a snake, make it skinnier than your pinky. And then what I'm gonna do, you guys, is I'm gonna lay that snake right there. Cause see all that ooey, gooey slip that's in there right now? I can just lay that snake in there, right there, okay? And now that snake is going to be a reinforcer. It's gonna really, really make these walls stand up. So if you're building something later on, and it's gonna be bigger than this, you see what I'm doing? I'm just blending it in. This is gonna help your wall stay up. The only way your wall is not gonna stay up, y'all, is if you make it too skinny. Don't make it as thin as a piece of paper. If you do, it's just gonna fall apart. But see, that's like pancake, right? Yeah, about a pancake. Not a humongo pancake, but you know, a pancake. So, see what I'm doing? Now it looks messy, right? That looks messy. Do not, listen, craftsmanship is kind of important. Do not leave it messy. So after you smooth it, go ahead and take a tool like this. You see this tool? This tool is very useful, very useful. Do that, and then, see that finger? Your fingers are useful. So, and then just do this. Start blending and smoothing it. See that? Smooth it out, and then you can fix your edges like this. Okay, this reminds me of that taco that somebody made. Who was that? Somebody made a taco. Who was that? It was in Fifth Hour. Anyway, this is my taco. It's the student that sits right next to Nate. Anyway, it's okay. But now see the bottom? If you don't like that, you definitely can just use your fingers and smooth it out like this. And fix the bottom, okay? But that's how, like, that is not going anywhere. But it's still, you know, it's still plastic. I can move it around without breaking it. That's one characteristic of plastic. So that is how you would attach a piece, a wall, to another piece. So if you're building and doing walls, okay? Now, the top of your, I might give you a few ideas of what to do with your handle for the top of your little pot that you're gonna make next, okay? Okay, so collapse that piece real quickly. If you see that it is getting cracking at all, just take a little bit of water. I'm just dipping my hand in the cup and I'm just gonna smooth it out a little bit. Like, just don't make it messy though, please don't make it messy. Notice that I have a mat. I'm working on my mat, you guys, so that I don't make a big mess all over the table. This is the first day that you're getting messy, kind of. Okay, I have my apron on. You're more than welcome to use my aprons. They're in the back of the room. So please don't make a mess. If you know, I'll get the sponges out. We will clean, but you know, there are 6 ceramics classes that are working in that classroom. I'm videoing across the way, so this doesn't look familiar to some of you, but I teach half day over here and half day over where you are. So this classroom doesn't look familiar to you, but let's say that I am making a lid to my pot. I'll have to measure the top of my pot first. I know that's loud. I'll have to measure the top of my pot first and then make sure that my lid matches. And then, you know, if my pot's here, I would just kind of lay it on there and just make sure it matches. And then you can use this to cut and trim it. But let's just pretend that it matches and it's beautiful, beautiful. And maybe I even, you know, want to just curve it a little bit. I can make the lid so that it curves down a little bit too. And the middle is up a little bit, whatever you do, I don't know, whatever. And then I'm gonna make a handle for it, okay? Because if you have a lid, how are you gonna get it off if you don't have a handle? I think you're with me on that one, right? So then make a little ball. This is just a simple handle, okay? Let's say, I'm gonna make a ball. I'm gonna pretend that I'm gonna smash my ball. A nature-inspired, a nature-themed pot, okay? I'm gonna have like all these natural elements on it. So, speaking of nature, what I'm doing is forming that ball into a leaf shape, okay? I'm gonna do a leaf shape first. Okay, I'm just kind of pressing, squeezing, and I'm gonna make my leaf a little curvy to make it look real, more realistic. And I'm just gonna do this and make it kind of cool looking, okay? And then it's gonna bend. Since it's plastic, I can bend it and move it without cracking it, right? I'm gonna bend it like that, okay? And then I will add all of my veins on the leaf to make it realistic later. But I am going to score and slip it right there. Put on like that, okay? That's gonna be my handle. See what I mean? And then maybe I can do like some leaf designs here with one of the little rollers. This one doesn't have leaves, but that little black one has a cute little leaf design. I think there's some leaves for the big ones too. I can do those later, or I can do them now real quickly. And then I can let this dry, score and slip, just like I showed you with the wall. Score and slip and do a teeny tiny snake around here, okay? And then this piece, if I'm going to do any carving out of it, it needs to wait until it is leather hard, okay? Leather hard. So what I would do, let me just show you guys. What I would do is I would take, I don't have a piece of plastic right here, but I would take, there are some in the back of the room. Look in the back of the room by the sink on the right. You will see 2 Lululemon bags hanging on the wall, a white one and a red one. Those have bags. Every time I go to the store, I just put some bags in there, you know? So if you ever have bags left over at your house, bring them to me. And then there's a cabinet underneath that sink to the right that has a bunch of bags. So you just take a bag, put your mat on your shelf, and then place your piece right there. We want it to dry to leather hard for tomorrow, okay? For tomorrow. So you're gonna take the bag and you're just gonna lay it lightly, like covering just a light blankie overnight, okay? Don't tuck it underneath. If you tuck it underneath, you're gonna still have a plastic piece of clay tomorrow and you can't do the second step that I'm gonna show you. So I'm gonna show you how to do like some intricate carving and things like that. we're also gonna add underglaze. I'm gonna teach you how to add underglaze to a piece, okay? So put this on your cabinet once you make it, put it on your cabinet, and then I want you to take 2 more pieces of clay. We're gonna do some practice with underglaze and mishima, okay? So roll a piece like this. I also have to teach you guys, after our pinch pots, I'm gonna teach you how to wedge clay, but I think we'll be okay for now without wedging. Smash it down like that, okay? We want this piece to get to leather hard as well. So you can lay it right next to your, you can slip it underneath that same piece of plastic. It can lay like right next to this. Or you can even go like on top just a little bit, it doesn't matter. As long as it's in there. And then do the same thing to this one, okay? All you're doing is making 2 little cookie pancake looking shape things. Don't make them too thin, please, or otherwise they're just not gonna work. About like that-ish, okay? So here are my 2 practice pieces. I'm gonna do one with Myolica, one with Mishima. No, not Myolica, Sgraffito. Sgraffito on one, Mishima on the other one. We'll do Myolica a little bit later, okay? And then get those ready. I hope you're in class on Wednesday. What is today? Wednesday. I hope you are in class on Wednesday, September 1st, first day of September, y'all, for this right here, because if you are not in class, you're gonna be a little bit behind. That's why it's very important to not miss ceramics class. It's hard to get caught up. Like, I don't know how you can get caught up if you miss a lot of days. Because we have a lot of studio working time, okay? So really just do that practice first. Practice making 2 walls, okay? Or a floor and a wall, I say. Practice making that, do your snake, score and slip it. Then make a little, just practice making this, put it together, okay? We're not keeping this, I'm telling y'all. Don't get married. Don't marry your piece of clay right now. You can marry your other ones, your pot, your pinch pot with a lid, that one. I'm gonna keep that one. This is all practice, okay? And then, so by the time you come into class on Thursday, you've got your lid with your scored little handle. It doesn't have to be a leaf. Make it something simple. It can be just a ball of clay, but don't make it too big. Can't be any thicker than your thumb or it's gonna explode. And then you make your 2 little baby pancakes, okay? And you cover them lightly like a blankie with a piece of plastic. And then boom, you're ready for day 2, okay? If you get this done today, clean your area, don't leave a mess. Clean your mat, put your mat, or make sure your mat should be underneath the clay. Shouldn't have said that, I don't want to confuse you. If you got any tools like I did, you're just gonna like hold on to them. And actually, I'm gonna do this really quick. I'm gonna do this really fast because I want it there for tomorrow. I'm gonna make my little print. If you're doing any prints, do them now, like I'm doing them. Okay. And then just clean up, put all your tools back. Put the lid back on your slip for the next class to use. 4th hour, 5th hour, 6th hour, I'll probably have you return them back to where they go. But 4th hour, put your lid on it, push it to the middle of your table for the next class. So there, I just printed. See, I just printed some prints. That's all. Okay, I'm done. And now I'm ready for day 2. All right? So you can have fun working with clay.